So I'm here with Irvine Welsh, the subject of the new documentary Reality Is Not Enough, and the writer-director Paul Sng. Gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today.
Pleasure.
So I have to ask, first thing, how did this collaboration come to be?
Well, we were friends, and I, one night fishing around, said to Irvine, "You ever considered, a documentary about yourself?" And you agreed to it, and off we went, really. It was something that we both wanted to make sure that it was not your standard kind of film with talking heads and people kind of blathering on about, nostalgic things, but something that was, I suppose, representative of who Irvine is as a writer, someone that takes risks, somebody that makes work that's adventurous, and I think hopefully we do that in the film.
Yeah, basically just what you said there, Paul, but it was, it was like I've resisted kind of being biographised, is what they call it? Yeah. And every, whether in film or in print and all that, I just kind of think that it's just been something that it's never appealed, but we talked about it, and he's very passionate and very persuasive about these things, so it's like, yeah, it was a pleasure to get involved.
So one of the great moments I loved is when it was like these this is your life kind of moments, like you watching the projections of the films and your life on the wall with a clock on the wall, because it was poetic, because you said time is our greatest resource. So it was great that I saw that clock in there. So what was the inspiration behind those this is your life projection moments, and then how did it feel to film those?
Yeah, we needed a device, and the device in the film is obviously Irvine taking DMT, but then you can't just film Irvine laying on a mattress with Chad Charles whispering sweet nothings into his ear and ruining his trip. So I knew we needed to visualise it, and I thought, right, in Leith there's a venue called the Biscuit Factory, which used to be a biscuit factory, but essentially in the dark it looks like an old abandoned warehouse. So I had the idea to dress Irvine in a white suit and have him wander through projections of archive of the times he lived through clips from screen adaptations, and through some footage from the film. And so it was designed to put people in his head, and we see him close up and we hear a master interview that was done over 4 different recordings. But the idea was to put people in Irvine's head, and sort of, you can't really visualise a trip because it's all inner and it's all within someone's own kind of existence and being. But I wanted to at least give the audience some kind of experience that Irvine was going through a period of reflection. This DMT is a very, it's a quick thing, it's within half an hour, something like that.
Yeah, this one's about 25 minutes. This one, but longer than the standard DMT, which is only kind of 90 seconds. But this one was a long trip.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah, supposedly. Yeah, but it's just a different experience. It's that the pre-life rather than post-death kind of experience.
And the clock on the wall was a happy accident. And I remember at one point saying, "Can they take that clock off the wall?" And they're like, "No." And I was like, "Oh, okay." But then it worked.
It worked so well.
Don't tell them it's a happy accident.
Cut that bit out. Right? Just kidding.
So, Zoran, this is not the first documentary about you and your work. There have been a couple more, but you said that Paul really was passionate, it convinced you. So what was it that excited you about this format, or what was like, yes?
Yeah, I think
choose Paul.
I think he kind of wanted to do something, as you said, something cinematic, something that had a sort of real heart to utilise that medium, to its fullest extent. And a bit of drama and a bit of jeopardy in the whole thing as well. So yeah, it just seemed to be quite a novelistic approach to doing something like that, and that kind of obviously I'm a novelist, so that sort of appealed to me.
And of the probably countless hours of footage that was there, and I know, Irvine, I know you haven't seen the finished product. I know you've seen a few cuts, not the finished product yet. Was there anything that you were really happy that was captured in this, and anything you wish we could include in a director's cut?
You know what? I mean, I think that you have to. The best thing in the world if you're an artist or you appreciate other people's art, the best thing in the world you can do is to be surprised. And you can only be surprised if you stand aside from things and let people get on with what they want to to do, you know, to make the film they want to make. You know, so I'm looking forward to tonight in the big screen, tomorrow night, sorry, in the big screen, everybody being there and just experience it in that way for the first time. And I know there's things that, not just in terms of bits you've cut out or put in, but bits that I've seen before that I maybe just didn't, you know, that you don't, you know, you see these things in greater clarity and depth every time you see them. So there's going to be things that surprise me and kind of, you know, but basically, you know, I mean, my attitude was that kind of anything goes really, and I'm hoping that you know, that kind of comes across as a sort of, there's that kind of easy energy to the whole thing.
And my last question, because I have to let you both go. What is it that you're hoping people take away from the film when they walk out of the theater tomorrow night?
I always think questions. When I see a great film, I come away from it and it sticks with me and it stays with me. I saw a film called Lowrider at the festival on Sunday and I can't stop thinking about it because it's about a woman who goes in search of her father in South Africa, and I just think about that film all the time by the brilliant director Campbell X. So I think I want people to come out of it with questions about themselves, questions about Irvine, and to just, you know, find answers to those questions. I don't think films should, you know, answer everyone's questions. I think they should force you into doing work when you leave the cinema.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it's like the work that you want to not so much force but encourage people to do is to just get involved themselves, you know, make their own films, write their own books, sort of have a go, basically, yeah, because I think the worst thing in life is that, you know, the other thing that gives people regrets in life, I think, and I've listened to a lot of Slater and Jakey's in the time in bars and Leith, and it's like, the thing that really gives people regrets is that if you don't pursue things, you know, if you've got an idea or a feeling that you want to do something and you don't actually pursue it, it's a short life, so, you know, try and leave as little on the table as you possibly can, basically, you know.
Great. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much. Enjoy the festival and congratulations on the film. It's a wonderful piece of art.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.